The body remembers flow. The body is not matter, it is movement, remembering itself. Beneath the skin's stillness, beneath the choreography of organs, muscles, and breath, there is a deeper rhythm. The hum of coherence. It is the music that began before heartbeat and will remain long after form dissolves. It is the infinite, folding and unfolding as you. We were taught that the body is a container, a thing to be shaped, disciplined, or fixed. But the body was never an object. It was always an instrument of translation, a living receiver of frequency, a transformer of light into sensation and sensation into wisdom. When you eat, when you breathe, when you feel, you are not surviving. You are conducting the cosmos. There was a time when humanity knew this, when medicine was song and nourishment was prayer, when herbs were conversations with elements and digestion was ceremony. But we forgot. We began to measure health by numbers instead of by flow, to label food as good or bad instead of living or stagnant. We became clogged, not by matter alone, but by the mind's insistence on control. And so the body, faithful as always, began to mirror our inner constriction. To heal, then, is not to cleanse against the body, but to return to coherence with it. Healing is remembering that every cell is listening, that your water carries your words, that the quality of your breath alters your light. That flow is not a luxury of peace. It is the foundation of life itself. This book is not a manual of nutrition. It is a remembrance of nourishment, the way energy becomes flesh, and flesh becomes field again. It is not about what to eat, but how to be eaten by life. How to let the infinite consume your resistance and metabolize you back into harmony. Here we will speak of the nervous system as a river of light, of water as memory, of photons as food. We will see that coherence is not just science, it is devotion. We will explore how emotion shapes chemistry, how gratitude reorders the electromagnetic heart, and how the field inside you feeds the field around you. Because what you feed the body is never separate from what you feed the field. Your thoughts are nutrients. Your emotions are enzymes. Your presence is medicine. When you remember this, nourishment becomes prayer, and your body, the altar of coherence. The infinite is not asking you to transcend the body. She is asking you to feel it fully, to listen until you can hear the pulse beneath the pulse, the current that carries all things toward balance. When you finally stop fighting your form, you discover what you've always been. Not matter seeking spirit, but energy, learning how to move beautifully through itself. And so, with breath steady and field open, let us begin to unravel the architecture of flow. The architecture of flow. From the book The Energetic Body, Flow, Coherence, and the Real Meaning of Nourishment. A fourfold voice, synthesis on field physiology, cellular flow, and the return to coherence. Opening everything alive moves, not always in distance, but in vibration. Beneath the stillness of skin, beneath the choreography of organs and breath, there is a deeper rhythm, the hum of coherence. The human body, long mistaken for a machine of parts, is in truth a luminous field folded into form. What we call matter is simply slowed down light, and what we call health is the smooth conversation between energy and matter. Every cell is an antenna, transmitting, receiving, and translating frequencies. The heart pulses rhythm, the brain radiates resonance, and the skin breathes photons. You are not contained. You are continuous. When you move, think, or feel, you ripple through the quantum ocean that sustains you. This is the architecture of flow, the invisible lattice through which consciousness becomes flesh. In a world that worships structure, flow was forgotten. We stabilized what was meant to move and silenced what was meant to sing. But the body, ancient and faithful, never stopped whispering that balance is rhythm, not rigidity. Let us remember that design now, through the eyes of history, science, philosophy, and spirit. History, the body's forgotten blueprint. For much of human history, the body was known as a living river of energy. Ancient Egyptians called this harmony Mat, a sacred balance between flesh, breath, and cosmos. Chinese medicine mapped qi as a current of life, and Indian traditions named it prana. Even indigenous healers from the Philippines spoke of ginhawa, the breath that animates all being. Then came dissection, the age of enlightenment's pursuit of control. René Descartes separated soul from body, and Isaac Newton described the world as a predictable machine. The body was no longer divine, it was mechanical. Flesh became data. Still, the poets and mystics resisted. William Blake declared, Man has no body distinct from his soul, for that called body is a portion of soul discerned by the five senses. He remembered what the Age of Reason forgot, that the body is a song, not a structure. Medicine advanced, but connection waned. We cured disease while starving vitality. The calorie replaced the prayer. The field, that subtle coherence between all things, disappeared from science's vocabulary. And yet, centuries later, the atom shattered its illusion of solidity. Quantum field theory revealed that matter is 99.9999% vibration. The forgotten architecture returned, this time not as myth, but as measurable physics. Science. The quantum body of coherence. Today, the language of energy is returning to biology. Physics tells us that all existence is field, and matter is simply a concentration of vibration. Carlo Rovelli, in Reality Is Not What It Seems, writes that particles are ripples on the ocean of being. That means your body is not separate from the cosmos. It is the cosmos, localized in form. Biophysics proves this truth. James Oshman, in Energy Medicine, The Scientific Basis, describes the body's liquid crystalline matrix, fascia, connective tissue, and cytoskeleton, that conducts energy at light speed. Gerald Pollack, in The Fourth Phase of Water, discovered structured water inside cells that stores electrical charge and memory, effectively turning you into a living battery. Your mitochondria, the powerhouses of cells, are quantum processors, managing electron flow and photon emission. Fritz Albert Popp, in Biophotons and the Quantum Biology of the Cell, demonstrated that every cell emits coherent light, and that health corresponds to the harmony of this light. When we are balanced, our bodies literally glow. Even the heart proves this architecture. The HeartMath Institute measured an electromagnetic field around the heart up to 3 meters wide. When we feel gratitude, that field becomes coherent, measurable evidence that love creates order. Emotion is energy in motion. Coherence is health. The body's architecture, then, is a song of frequencies, a symphony of oscillations tuned to the rhythm of the field. Health is harmony. Disease is dissonance. The healer does not repair, she retunes. Philosophy, the wisdom of movement. If we are made of flow, what does that mean for the self? That identity is not fixed. It is fluid awareness moving through form. Alfred North Whitehead, in Process and Reality, wrote that being is becoming, that reality is process. You are not a static entity. You are an unfolding event. This changes everything. Illness is no longer failure. It is friction. Healing is not perfection. It is participation. The universe is not testing you. It is teaching you rhythm. The ancient Taoists said, when nothing is done, nothing is left undone. This is not passivity. It is alignment. Flow means allowing life to move through you without resistance. When you hold, you harden. When you release, you return. Philosophically, flow redefines will. To force is to fracture the pattern. To surrender is to cooperate with the field. The ego's illusion of control interrupts the infinite's choreography. That is why stillness, not struggle, restores coherence. To live by the architecture of flow is to dance with your own becoming. To realize that every cell is improvising to the rhythm of your awareness. Tash, spirit, the divine pulse within matter. Spirit is not elsewhere. It is the pulse inside your atoms. Every vibration is the infinite breathing. When mystics from different cultures entered divine states, they described the same current. Light through the spine, heat in the heart, radiance in the cells. They called it Kundalini, Chi, Ruach, Pneuma, holy fire. You have felt this, the tingling in meditation, the rush of presence after tears, the wave of calm that follows surrender. That is the field remembering itself through you. When Rumi said, "You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop," he was describing quantum field entanglement in poetic language. The same awareness that births galaxies animates your heartbeat. To live in spirit is not to ascend out of form, but to descend into coherence. To taste divinity in breath, in water, in heartbeat. Spirit is vibration that remembers its own rhythm, the infinite, realizing it has a body. Conclusion: the body as the infinite's architecture. The architecture of flow is not to be constructed, it is to be remembered. You are already built from harmony. Healing is not adding, it is unblocking. The more you let energy move through you, the more your life hums in tune with existence. The infinite did not make errors in your design. Every tension is an invitation to breathe deeper. Every ache, a reminder to listen. When you surrender, the body teaches you what the mind forgot. That flow is the nature of being. Awakening questions. 1. What areas of your life feel rigid, where flow no longer moves freely? 2. How does your body communicate imbalance before it becomes illness? 3. Can you sense light, vibration, or warmth as a form of inner nourishment? 4. How might your breath change if you knew each inhale shapes the field? 5. What would healing mean if it were simply the return of rhythm? Tash, final 4 lines. The infinite hums through your hands. The current remembers your name. Light builds the shape of love, and flow restores you home.